All right, dude, we are live. What's up, guys? This is Dan Keys, and today we are going to continue learning about doing PWM things, pulse width modulation things, in the ESP32 using no STD Rust. Today's stream might be a bit of a short one. I unfortunately, due to certain circumstances, I had to start the stream late, but we should be able to stream for at least an hour and 10 minutes, maybe. So I'm wondering if I should even do a yap sesh or just like get right into it. I also tweaked the values of my VTuber app a little bit just to because I felt like it's becoming a little less responsive to the input. And every now and then I have to do this. Usually it's increasing, not decreasing the value. So this kind of tells me that it might be something to do with my microphone. I don't know if it's just the quality of the mic that's degrading over time, which is, understandable. It's very much a possibility. But yeah. I mean, fortunately, put in I did put in the functionality to be able to customize certain settings. And this is also reminding me of how I've gotten so sucked into the ESP32 stuff and the analog electronics stuff that I haven't had enough time to give to um, the Python side, the deep learning side, learning Rust side, and also doing Rust projects side. There's a bunch of Rust related stuff that I wanted to do and still want to do. It's just that holy shit, dude. There's so many things that I want to do that I don't have the time for all of it, which is unfortunate. Okay, so um right. Dude, holy shit. I've been making progress. I've been making some good progress on Oh, wait, hold on. This just reminded me that I need to refresh the feed so there's a lot less latency. Okay, we should be doing slightly better now. Yeah, okay. This glitch, the weird glitch, I still haven't figured this out because this glitch only seems to be happening on the pane that you guys are viewing. So that's why you guys see it, but like on the other end where I'm viewing it, it's not showing up. As in this exact same tmux session is attached to uh, by two different terminals. There's two different terminals that are attached to this session. I'm controlling from one side, so that's one terminal. And the other side, the other terminal is only attached there so that OBS can capture it and so you guys can see it. And something about that setup seems to not be agreeing with either WesTerm or tmux. I'm guessing it's something to do with WesTerm and tmux because I've done this exact same thing for a while through the Kitty terminal. So it was Kitty plus tmux, and I didn't have this issue. So I'm not really sure what it is. I keep forgetting to like look into this. I kind of just like close everything as soon as the stream is over and go back to doing the analog electronics research and stuff. By the way, dude, speaking of research, so a couple of months back, I found out about this company called Framework. Well, the laptop is called Framework. I don't know if the company is called Framework as well, but the laptop itself is called Framework. And this special thing about these Framework laptops is that they're highly modular in the sense that you can switch out parts very easily. You can switch out peripherals. You can switch out stuff like um, an Ethernet port or a USB port. You can expand your number of USB ports. You can add in something extra that you might need. I can't think of examples of different types of various slots that you might need, but that can be switched out. The motherboard can be switched out. The keyboard can be switched out as well. The keyboard, as in the input pad on like a laptop, that can be switched out. They have something. I believe the battery can also be switched out. Um, and they have something in the back for it's some sort of expansion slot for at the very least for GPU stuff, but I think you can do other stuff with that as well. The point is there's a bunch of modularity with this laptop. It's highly customizable. It's very much upgradable because they have compatibility between various laptop um, models. I don't know if that's always been the case, but like at least with the newer version, the latest one, in fact, that came out, apparently it's both forwards and backwards compatible. So like you could take like hardware from a previous framework laptop and put that into your new framework laptop. And I love this idea of modularity because it is, holy shit, it is incredibly powerful. There are so many situations that I've seen where a laptop just it develops a problem, and then unless you are able to repair it, which is a huge headache, unless you are able to repair it, you kind of have to just get a new laptop, or get a desktop or something that's a lot more easily repairable in terms of switching out parts and stuff. But yeah, I like the idea of framework laptops. I'd found out about this a couple of months back, and then just like yesterday, I started seeing posts about the latest framework laptop that's coming out. And holy shit, dude. Honestly, I wish that at some point in the future, I even made a post about this on social media. I wish that at some point in the future, a bunch of people get together and work on a common hardware standard, so that a bunch of different companies can sell modular laptops. And the reason I'm saying common hardware standard is somebody needs to develop a fixed standard, or the community needs to agree on a fixed standard, so that a bunch of different companies can start making hardware for that is based on this standard. And in that way, you could, for example, buy the shell, the I think they call it the chassis, or chassis, or whatever, the basically the shell of the laptop. You can buy that from someone else. You could buy your peripherals from somewhere else, your USB ports and stuff from somewhere else. You can buy maybe the input keyboard from somebody else that could be custom made by someone. You can buy the GPU. I need to look into the GPU functionality thing because I haven't fully understood how that slots in. Another thing I haven't looked into is how exactly the peripherals are being connected to the motherboard, because it kind of looks like a USB Type C connection. I don't know if that's exactly what it is, or if they made their own sort of connector. But yeah, it's really interesting. It's a very interesting concept, and I hope that more companies adopt actually, first of all, before any other companies start doing it, I hope that people get together and build a common hardware standard, because otherwise it's kind of pointless for other companies to start building it, because what's going to end up happening is a bunch of companies will build their own designs, because it's a competitive market and they want to, you know, everyone wants to earn money. So they're not necessarily going to share the designs. And due to that, you're going to end up in situations where somebody buys a laptop from one company, a modular laptop from one company, and then they're kind of like bound to that company alone, because no other words, no other company is making making hardware for the same type of laptop, because this laptop's design is a little different in terms of modularity versus another company that's also building modular laptops. And then the whole thing just kind of like, it becomes pointless. At that point, you might as well just have one company that's doing it. I mean, I would still like to see competition in this space, because when there's competition, there's going to be more research and people are more driven to improve their products. And to a certain extent, that also drives prices down. So that does help the consumer. And but I mean, even aside from that, I would like to see a common standard being developed so that multiple companies are following that standard. And then that helps the consumer even more, in that, again, the consumer can buy different parts from different places. They don't have to buy the exact same, kind of like how we have computers right now, where you have you can buy a motherboard from one place, you can buy a graphics card from another place, you can buy RAM from another place, buy the hard drive from another place, the SSD, NVMe, whatever, you can buy that from another place. um, you can buy, your monitor from another place, the case from another place. And there's certain there's certain specs that you have to keep in mind to make sure that these things will be compatible with each other. That is exactly what I'm trying to that exactly is what I want people to develop for laptops. So we should try to have this kind of common spec that everyone is going to agree to follow. And of course, as tech improves, um, we can have, upgrades happening. We can have like I don't know, socket changes. We can have RAM slot changes, for example. Just like how there's a difference between DDR2, 3, 4, and 5. Similarly, we can have a thing with the laptop standard, just like how there were different sockets. I don't know how much the CPU sockets have changed over the years, but like back in the day, they were changing quite a bit. Um, but yeah, you can have like different CPU sockets as well, um, or try to keep the or try to keep the socket same. Like maybe don't change the socket design each time, because it becomes a little easier for people. But yeah, that's a different story. It's not like there's a reason why they're doing it. It's not like they're just doing it for fun. So, but yeah, I would like to see a modular spec being built for laptops as well, hopefully at some point in the future. There was also, this was years ago, somebody had come up with this, with a concept design. I don't think it went very far, but somebody did come up with a concept design for a phone that was modular in this manner. I think recently also some company showed their own concept of it. Yeah, I think so. Recently, some company showed their own, but like years ago, somebody had come up with a concept where, uh, like, you have the phone, you can buy the phone, you can then change out the parts for this phone, so you can, I don't know, upgrade your battery, or you can upgrade the camera, or you can upgrade whatever else there is to upgrade on the phone. The only thing is, with these designs, with these modular designs, they may not necessarily always be the most slim. You can or you should be expecting um, a little bit of clunkiness to them. That being said, the latest framework is actually pretty thin. It's not as clunky as I would be expecting a modular design to be. So, like, even like what I'm saying about expecting clunkiness, even that might not necessarily be a problem in the future. Okay, also, I've been making great, great progress with the Forest Mims getting started with electronics book. I have reached to somewhere in the 30, somewhere above 35, somewhere above page 35. It is, hold on just a second. I had the thing open somewhere here. Oh yeah, here it is. I still have the thing open. I ended up just downloading the PDF after checking a couple of things and opening it up in Firefox because I was constantly running into issues with the RAM when I was trying to view the PDF through the GitHub PDF viewer because it doesn't handle the memory very well. So what would end up happening is I would start at page one, obviously, because that's the first page. But then as I keep scrolling down, I have to load more and more pages. It loads the first 5 pages, and then there's a button down that says more pages or load pages or something. You click on that, it loads 5 more pages. Then there's another button, click on that, it loads 5 more pages. All the other pages that have been loaded, they're still there, and they're still occupying memory. And so by the time, but words, by the time you get to I don't know, page 30, you've already filled up like a good chunk of RAM. On my 6 GB laptop, I was constantly running into issues. So I was like, dude, if I'm gonna read this book all the way up to page 100, because page 100 is where the the theory stuff ends and practical circuits begin. The entire book is 128 pages or 127 pages, 128 pages. The entire book is 128 pages. About 100 of those pages, almost 100 of those pages, because you have actually I don't know if the initial, like the cover and then the index and all, are also being counted as page one page. I don't think so. I don't think so. In total, maybe the book has like 130 pages if you count the index and the cover and I don't know, history and whatever else. There's like a few extra pages at the beginning. So maybe 130, 131, something like that. But yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, I downloaded the thing and I'm currently on page 37. So we are currently learning about the different types of RC circuits. RC circuits are resistor capacitor circuits, and basically this page is teaching us about some common use cases for resistor capacitor circuits, common things that you can use combinations of resistors and capacitors for. And that has been pretty interesting. Like, that has been incredibly interesting. I'm almost done with this page. This is page 37. After that, we're going to be moving on to coils, then types of coils, and then transformers, then types of transformers, and finally we'll move on to semiconductors. This is where what all gets taught in the semiconductors thing. I know that silicone is part of that, and it's gonna explain a bunch of the physics, which I actually am very interested in. Yeah, this might actually answer my other questions that I was having about um, how electrons are behaving just in general when there's nothing going on, and a bunch of other such questions. I just don't remember to ask Gemini after the stream is over because I get busy doing other stuff. But yeah, that's within semiconductor. Then also within semiconductors, we have diodes. Diodes come in. I think transistors also come in next. Oh, LEDs. LEDs are also there because, well, LED is a type of diode. It's a light emitting diode. Then we have the transistor and the various types of transistors. And that goes on for a bit because there's multiple different types of transistors. I don't think I have all of these transistors. I mainly only have BJTs and MOSFETs. I think so. Yeah, I think. Give me a second. I just realized that I forgot to open up my chat on my phone. So I'm just gonna do that. Where is Twitch? Here. Okay. Open that up. Open that up. And Yeah. Okay. All right. You know what? Enough of the yap sesh. Actually, what comes after transistors? Okay, there's a unijunction transistor and so on. So there's thyristor. Yeah, I haven't fully understood this thing. I also don't think I have thyristor, so like I'll study about it, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to practice anything with it. I'll have to see. I don't know. Then we have something called triacs. That is also something that I don't really know if I have. And finally, we move on to photonic conductors. I was assuming that photonic conductors is where lights would actually, yeah, photonic semiconductors is where lights come in. And we're going to be learning all about, you know, lighting related stuff. So producing light, how light works in general, also interpreting light, and more light related stuff. Dude, things are getting like super super interesting. This book, granted, I haven't we haven't gotten into like the any practical stuff yet, but just reading this bit by bit, reading this, I'm pretty happy with the amount of information that I'm learning. This is great. This is actually pretty amazing. At a later time, it goes into ICs, I believe. Um, Phototransistors, okay, okay. Photothyristors, then solar cell. Oh, this is going to teach us about what do you call that? Solar panel. That's also, dude, that's also something I wanted to look into because I want to try building my own little, you know, tiny power station, solar powered power station. I want to see what that's like. I'm going to start with like a very small solar panel. The thing is, it gets a tiny bit complicated because it's not as simple as just getting the solar panel, the solar cell, and you directly connect it into something. Because this thing, it produces power that is very erratic. The power, I believe, is also AC. It's not DC, and the power is very erratic. It's not like a fixed kind of thing. Um, so it's very raw. It's very raw power. So you have to process this. You have to also rectify it. You have to turn it from AC to DC. Um, Maybe there might be a certain amount of like stepping down required. I don't know. Um, so basically, you need some circuitry to actually use what the solar panel is producing, right? You have that, and then let's say you're trying to use the solar panel to charge a battery, for example. You're going to need the circuitry for the battery as well. You need something that'll protect from overcharge, that'll also protect from over discharge. If you're talking about like a lithium ion battery, then you don't really want the thing going all the way up to zero because apparently that destroys the battery. But yeah, yeah, there's a lot to explore with solar panels, and because I don't have all that much money, so I would like to start with um, the simplest solar panel that I can come up with. Maybe I could work on building the circuitry for the solar panel myself, because in this book, in the Forest Mims book, after page 100, it's all circuitry. So there's 28 pages of just circuits. 28, 27. If we start at 100, no, we start at 101. So yeah, we have like 28 pages of just circuits, different types of circuits. Um, and it goes into, it spans across like multiple different subjects, which is amazing. Like this book alone is going to introduce me to analog electronics so well that I don't think I'm going to have to touch any of the other books, because past that point, I'm going to have enough knowledge and enough information to just be able to start looking up things online in terms of like circuits and stuff. And like, holy shit, I'm excited for that. I'm excited for that. I have been waiting to be able to learn analog electronics properly for so long. Even my doubts about, like, how current flows when there's branches, and how to deal with things when you have multiple power sources and stuff like that. I feel like all of those things would also be covered here, to a certain extent. The branching thing is definitely going to be covered, but I am not too sure about multiple power sources, especially power sources with, or voltage sources, especially voltage sources with like different voltage levels and different current levels. I don't know if there are too many circuits where that is being covered. But yeah, yeah, there's a lot. There is a lot for me to get into here, and I am excited. Something that I do need to be careful of, and I feel like here I need to stop myself from getting distracted, specifically with doom scrolling on social media. Because I've noticed that the time when I'm like a lot more productive is when I just put my phone away. Because it's very easy to get, at least for me, to get sucked into, constantly scrolling, and then I just lose a bunch of time that I could have otherwise spent learning stuff. So, right now, the two things that I'm giving very heavy importance to, one of them is on stream, so that's fine, right? It's the ESP32 stuff that we are learning through Impel Rust. That's fine because we are learning that on stream. So I don't have to do much of it off stream. I actually don't do any of it off stream. This is all I'm learning this on stream, and after I'm done with this, I off stream I do research on other stuff. One of the stuffs being this Forrest Mims book, but I also need to find time to work on other stuff. Real quick. Let's make a new. Oh, real quick. Let's make a small list here. Okay. New. Oh God, I don't know. I don't know why the color is so awful. I'm gonna have to do something about this. I don't know what's going on with the color. Okay. Oh, maybe I could change the color myself. Maybe I could like override the color somehow. The color isn't supposed to be this. It's being overridden by something, and because of that, this is happening. I'll have to see if I need to customize the Wes term config. I don't know. Okay, new um focus list. I can change this later. So we have impl rust for ESP32 um, on stream. Then we have um, Forest Mims book, Forest Mims, well, actually, analog electronics, Forest Mims book. Then we need to um, get back to learning Rust basics. I'm gonna say Gemini, but I don't know if I'm actually gonna be able to continue with that chapter or not, because the conversation, I believe, was lost. Um, I think there's a limit to how long Gemini holds on to the conversation, and some of the conversations I've held on to them for like months. Um, well, some of the conversations I held on to them for a good month plus, and I don't know if it keeps anything past 3 months. I don't know if there is a limit. I'll have to check. I don't know if the all of the data just vanished because I updated Gemini, and as part of their update process, they were doing some sort of cleanup, and that made everything vanish. I don't know. Um, However, I do remember the chapter that I was on, so that's good. I remember the chapter, and I have the syllabus. We were on iterators. I remember that because the last thing that I remember is getting stuck on iterators, not because I didn't understand iterators. It was because I got really sucked into how generics are working, more specifically, the very complex generics, and why there's a need for the turbofish syntax. And I got sucked into exploring all of that. We were learning about various functions. I don't remember what all the functions were. One of them was map. The other, there were two more. I don't remember exactly what the. Oh wait, I could. Do we have iterators in no STD Rust? I'm not sure. Let's say let A equals. We do not have this in no STD Rust. This should throw an error. Is this going to throw an error? Cannot find vec. Yeah. Okay. Can I do an iterator sort of thing? Um, I don't know. Is iter part of this at all? Okay, okay. You know what? The point is, I got stuck with that. I got kind of sidetracked with that, and because of that, I never finished the iterators chapter. And now I need to finish the iterators chapter. After that, I believe we are going to be moving on to um, heap related stuff. So box and I think there's ref cell and something about RC. Yeah, there's a bunch of smart pointers. That's the yeah. So after that we're probably going to be moving on to smart pointers. I think so. You know what? Hold on. Where did I place this? It was probably in VS Code. So we're going to say this and then Rust and then yeah, there. Okay. Now what do we no, we do not have it here. Gemini Rust Learning. Did I not save the thing anywhere? Like, okay, hold on. Close this. Let's open up Yahtzee because I need to look for this. Um, what is this? Oh, okay. What is this? Oh, holy shit. I need to be careful. Right. VS Code projects, Rust, Gemini. This. Yeah, I don't think it's here. Let's open up Scratch stuff. And in here we have this Gemini. Dude, I have no idea where I placed that thing. Oh, maybe I have it locally here. Give me a second. I'm looking at it on another machine or looking for it on another machine. Uh, Scratch stuff. Um, Gemini Electronics, empty directory. Gemini explains. Gemini. There should be a Gemini teaches. Unless I put that somewhere else as well. Uh, Okay, okay. I'll look into this later on. Holy shit, dude. The yap sesh the yap sesh ran a little bit long. Let's do what little um let's do what little studies we can in terms of the Rust stuff. So yesterday we were here, and this is our code. We were at this part. We, I believe, got done with this, and then we have PWM channels. Okay, next we configure the PWM channel. We've already created the timer object because so we are using the low speed channel, right? Or low frequency channel, I think it's called. I don't remember. Hold on. Low speed channel. We are using this low speed channel. In the low speed channel, we have four timers. And yesterday, I'm remembering now. Yesterday, I realized that for the past couple of streams, I'd been under the wrong impression that um, each timer could only control two channels, and so each timer was assigned two channels that it could control. That was wrong. That was not true. Um, each each timer can control any of the eight. At least this is what I've understood now. Who knows? Maybe I might be wrong about this. I don't think I'm wrong about this one though. I think now I've understood properly. But yeah, each timer can control any of the eight or all of the eight channels. In each channel, there's some sort of selector, some sort of input selector that lets it select which timer it's going to take input from. And this way, you can use one timer for all eight, or you can use one timer for five and another timer for three. I don't know what happens if you choose one. If you accidentally uh, try to assign two timers to one channel, I don't know if it's gonna like maybe overwrite in some way, or if there's something to prevent that on the Rust side, or if it's just gonna be an overwrite type of situation. Because let's take a look at what the code here looks like. So let's type out the code. Okay, let mute channel 10, no, channel 0. Channel 0 equals ledc dot channel, and in here we want to pass in, what is it? Channel number. Oh, that's an enum, I'm assuming. And the output pin, which is LED. Okay, channel, that's LEDC. Um, channel number, channel 0. This is an enum, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Dude, I keep forgetting this thing about enums in Rust, that you can create functionality for the enum. Yeah. I don't remember all the specifics surrounding it, but you can create functionality for the enum. Let's for the sake of an example, let's take a look at this one. So we have number. Hold on. Okay. So we have channel so and so. We have, what am I looking at? Number, right? Number is an enum. Yeah, number is an enum. Then there's a new function. I believe this is also for, yeah, I believe this is also for number, for the number enum. Actually, let's go to the file. I love that. I love that I'm just able to jump to the thing. Okay, so we have channel zero, so and so, so and so, so and so. Oh, okay. I'm not seeing anything. Okay, wait. Let's look for what would it be? Impl, just impl number, right? I think so. I think it would just be impl number, or maybe it could be implementing a trait for the enum. Though, okay, I'm seeing something else here. I'm seeing channel. So we have struct channel, and then this is being implemented for a channel. Okay, you know what? My point is, okay, close this, um, close that. Right. My point is, I had forgotten that you can implement functions for enums as well. There's another thing I need to remember with enums is that it's not just like a one value type of thing. Um, you can have struct enums. You can have enums that hold some sort of value as well. You can have different types of enums. Okay, all right. Enum variants. That's the term I was looking for. You can have different types of enum variants. Now, have I defined LED? Yes. Okay, I have. Okay, then channel.configure, and this is where we pass in our timer. So I'm guessing by that logic, where, um, depending on what order you set the timer in, because this could be a linear order, right? Like maybe I have timer 0, 1, and 2 defined. Right now here I only have timer 0 defined. I could have timers 0, 1, and 2 defined, and throughout the code, maybe once I configure channel 0 to be, because this is mutable, so I'm assuming we can configure it multiple times, but maybe I configure it to use timer 1 first, but then later on I configure it to use timer 0, and then I later configure it to actually that makes sense, right? Why wouldn't you be able to do that? It shouldn't be like a permanent thing. It shouldn't be a one-time setting. Because like you can't build something sophisticated otherwise if you can't constantly keep changing the timer. Or well, you don't have to constantly change, but like if you can't change the timer at will, you wouldn't be able to do very sophisticated stuff with it. um, so we should be able to change the timer like at different points. Maybe you want that same channel to do different things, and so use a different timer. Okay, all right. Channel config, config. So we are creating a config struct here, uh, where timer is a reference to ls timer, then duty pct percentage. Okay, I was about to ask like what is that? So yeah, this is our duty cycle percentage. It's a 10% duty cycle. So that means that for 10% of that cycle, the signal will be high, and then for the remaining 90%, it'll be low. Then drive mode is push pull. I don't know what, um, yeah, I don't know too much about this. I haven't looked into. So there's also pull up and push down mode, right? I don't know if that's part of this as well. So far, it's only showing. Oh, there's open drain. So this is drive mode. There's GPIO. Yeah, GPIO has a thing as well. I forgot where that was. I can't remember where that was, but there was a thing where you can specify the mode for the pin that you're working with, the peripheral that you're working with. Anyways, in this case, it's push pull. So that's done. And then finally we unwrap and end. Okay, then we have our fading. The ESP HAL has a function called start duty fade, which makes our job easier. Otherwise, we would have to manually increment and decrement the duty cycle in a loop at regular intervals. Oh, okay. Okay. Manually increment and decrement the duty cycle in a loop at regular intervals. This function gradually changes from one duty cycle percentage to another. This function gradually changes from one duty cycle percentage to another. It also accepts a third parameter, which specifies how much time it should take to transition from one duty cycle to another. Dude, this is high level stuff. Like I didn't even imagine that we would be having this kind of high level functionality. Like back when we were studying the how PWM works, but this is great. Yeah, like imagine this. We can specify how much time it should take to transition from one duty cycle to another. So we don't even need to do a bunch of the math ourselves. We are just like calling these functions. Okay, all right. So we do channel 0 dot start duty fade. Um, okay, so we do 0 and then we do 100 and then we do. I like this select mode that we have here. Um, I need to look into what specific circumstances the select mode gets activated in, because this is very useful. So one of the situations where I've found this to be of use. Oh God, this looks horrible for you guys. It looks great for me, but it looks horrible for you guys. Oh, I just figured out what I just figured out why you guys are seeing this. The only time that you guys see this, so you won't be seeing it if I do this now. Hold on. Um, yeah. So now you won't be seeing it. Okay, okay, I just solved the problem. Yep, yep. Okay. But then now, one issue is that it's a lot of it is going to be occluded by the webcam. Actually, maybe not a lot because yeah, what you guys see is what you guys see here is I forgot what I was saying. Okay, give me a second. Yep, quite a lot of it is being uh occluded. Yeah, yeah. I wonder if what if I do this? Oh God. Okay, I did that on the wrong system. I almost, yeah, I almost made a massive mistake. What I was trying to do, or where I was trying to do it, was here. Also, hold on just a second. Yeah. Um, I was trying to do it here. I don't know if this becomes like horribly small for you guys to read. Hold on, I need to. Is it that small? I'm not sure. Did it become small? I think it became small. I think it became small, but is it really that small that it would be? Wait, let me bring this back. Okay, so we need to be able to see unwrap. Oh God, dude. Okay, it's gonna keep glitching. I also think it's very small. It's not gonna be very legible, so let me just do that. Make it a tiny bit bigger. Yeah, yeah, that's better. After stream, I'm gonna check and see. I'm gonna have to experiment with sizes and stuff. Okay, all right, cool. So, um, all right. Next, w- we will run this in a loop and use another function provided by the HAL. Is duty fading? Wait, we will run this in a loop. Are we running this in a loop, or like is it a one-time thing? Give me a second, guys. I hit. I'm trying. I'm trying to figure out if yeah, yeah, I think I did. When I hit Control Shift minus on my other keyboard, I made my I kind of zoomed out in WesTerm. Fortunately, WesTerm handles the zoom out thing way better than the Kitty terminal, because in the Kitty terminal I would actually have to wait for a couple of minutes. I don't know what the reason for that was, but like here it's faster. So fast that I didn't even realize that it had become small. Um, but yeah, okay. So yeah, I'm still confused. Where are we, like, are we running this in a loop? I was assuming that it's going to create its own loop, but then oh, okay. Okay. This is what we are doing. Within the loop, we are running a loop. Okay, we will run this in a loop and use another function provided by the HAL, is duty fade running. It returns Boolean value whether the duty fade is complete or not. Okay, that's odd. That's so weird. I'm not sure why it's not copying. Okay, let's try that. What is go- what is going on? Okay, I'll have to look into this. Why did my copying functionality suddenly just stop working? I'm not sure. But yeah, a 0, 100,000. Then while channel 0 dot is duty fade running, then we do nothing. And we are apparently doing this twice for some reason. Oh, is this like a ping pong effect? What is... Hold on. Start duty fade. Okay, so that's our start duty percentage. This is our end duty percentage. So that's where... Wait, that doesn't make sense. Duty is where, like for how long the signal stays high. Wait, start a duty from one percentage to another. Okay, okay. Start a duty from one percentage to another, and for the remainder, it's going to be off. Okay, there's a constraint on the combination of timer frequency, timer PWM resolution, and fade range, and oh, and the duration. Okay, all right. Small percentage changes, long durations, coarse PWM resolutions, and high timer frequencies will all be more likely to fail this requirement. If it does fail, this function will return an error result. You know what? I'll look into the math behind that later. Okay. All right. Now, uh, right. Let's just, I don't know why my yank is not working. Yank is just printing these three characters. I'll have to look into this off stream. So we have 0, 100, 1000. No, it's supposed to be replaced. Okay, then while channel dot is duty fading, is duty fade run. How does it go from one to another? Why are there two of these? I don't get that. Yeah, that part is a bit confusing. Um, yeah, we need unwrap here, and we also need unwrap here. Okay, let's test this out, I guess. Oh, there. Yeah, let's test this out and see how well this works. Okay, give it a couple of seconds here, and we should soon be seeing the result. Holy shit, dude. We have a fading LED effect. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Okay, okay. So we now have a fading LED effect. Um, what is the next page? External LED. Okay, you can do the same fading effect with external LED, hardware requirements, so and so, and resistor, and so and so, so and so, so and so. Okay, all right. You might need two breadboards to fit the. Yep. Okay, I've done that. Code changes. We change it to GPIO 5. Um, there's no fun in just changing one line. Let's use a high. Sure. Let's use a high-speed timer. And yeah, for now we can just stick to the low speed timer. Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna grab my LED and resistor and just plug that in here. Okay, so I need a red wire and a black wire. For now, that should be enough. Yeah, I don't think I have anything like branching or anything like that. So we have these two, and we can go for a blue LED with one of these resistors. I don't remember what the value is, but whatever it is, uh, it's gonna be enough for the LED. Let me see if I can remember the thing. It starts with red. Red would be what, two? Black, zero, brown, one. Red would be, I'm assuming, two. But then we have purple. Um, oh, this might be a 270 ohm resistor. This might be a 270 ohm resistor. I don't know if I've guessed right. Anyways, I'm just gonna move the breadboard for a second so I can set up the circuit. Okay, so I've connected the thing here. Just a second. Okay, yeah. So we have the LED connected. It probably looks lit up right now. That's probably because the pin is floating, because I haven't initialized the pin yet. So um, we're gonna change this to GPIO 5. Okay, and then rebuild. And if I'm doing everything right here, then we should be seeing a fading LED effect. Give it a second. Yeah. Okay. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Let's go, dude. Okay, so we made some good progress here. We made some amazing progress here. Yeah, this page is basically just about that. Now, there's two things that I need to kind of dissect, two things I need to experiment with now. One is this, the fading LED code, which is our PWM code. I need to sit down and understand all of this, what we just set up here, all the various, bells and whistles that we've set up. Then I also need to go back to, when did I erase this? Oh, I didn't erase this. I moved it. I just remembered. Yeah. Um, then I need to also explore this very simple code that we had set up at the beginning of, at, this was the very first code that we had set up. This is a very simple, I think it was a LED blinking thing. Yeah, blinky LED circuit. Um, and then we will continue on with the next thing, which here they're covering embassy, and I need to decide if I want to spend time with this. I do want to learn the async side of things. I don't want to get sucked too deep into it, so I'll have to try and find a good balance. Fortunately, they have the blinking LED example for embassy, and it seems like similar to how we do with Tokyo. You add these you add this sort of macro at the top of your main function, and it does a bunch of the code generation for you that creates essentially the um, awaitable function. Yeah, yeah. I can spend a little time reading up on the embassy framework and how things work in it. And after that, we move on to buzzer. Okay, this should be fun. This should be interesting. I don't have this specific buzzer. I have a piezoelectric diaphragm, which I'm gonna have to talk to Gemini about like what the differences would be between this and the piezoelectric diaphragm. But I'm going to be using that, and I'll see if there's any like extra circuitry that needs to be added in there. I'll add that in as well. But yeah, dude, holy shit, this is great. This is amazing. We made some good progress today. Okay, okay. I think that's gonna be it for today's stream. I don't think I'm gonna raid anyone. I'm just gonna end the stream, and I need to sit down and um I need to prioritize things, dude. So the top priority right now is ESP32 Rust, right? Learning about that, because that's like the base before I get into robotics. So it's very important. And just in general, I want to make progress with ESP32 stuff because I want to do ESP32 projects. There are some IRL projects that I want to do as well. So this is going to be useful for that. So ESP32 and ESP32 Rust is top priority. Then another thing that's equally top priority is analog electronics, because there's a lot that I'm learning about electronics in general through learning analog electronics. So aside from my, you know, um, wanting to learn analog electronics, aside from that, I also need to learn a lot more about analog electronics just to be sure of what I'm doing, even in digital electronics. And I also need to somehow carve out time. So these are two of the important things, right? You have the ESP32 stuff and you have analog electronics, but I also need to carve out time for the content pipeline, which is a Python project. And then I need to carve out time for learning polars. I need to carve out time for finishing learning the basics of Rust. I need to carve out time for Ratatouille. Holy shit, I need to write down all of these things before I forget. Um, but yeah, yeah. we made good progress here today. That's going to be it for today's stream. I'm going to stream again tomorrow, and we are going to study more of this. I don't know if we're going to immediately jump to embassy or if I'm going to take some time tomorrow to kind of dissect uh, both of these code files, both the code from the blinky LED example and from the fading LED example, because there's a lot to explore there. I don't want to jump forward before I, properly understand what I've done here. Um, so yeah, we'll see what we're doing tomorrow. It's going to be more ESP32 Rust stuff, that's for sure. But yeah, we made good progress today. So that's going to be it for today's stream. I hope you guys have a nice day, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.